And it's gotta be Cinnamon Toast Project. That's the only thing that's soothing my soul. Turn on the TV to Power Rangers. Yeah.
All right. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. This, of course, is Rashad, and I'm here with the Color Commentary crew as we give you views from a different side. Whether you're one of our long-term fans or if you are just checking out our show now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's over here somewhere. Go ahead and hit it right now. I'm mentally controlling you to hit that button right now so you can continue to see great content from us. Normally, we are talking about your favorite movies and TV shows and also the worst movies and TV shows on TV and movies. Today, we won't be talking about that. We're going to talk about some current events here. We've been noticing a couple things here. Let me go ahead and bring on my crew here. All right. So, a couple things here. Number one, I personally have been seeing on Facebook a lot of backlash against the movie Black Panther. It's been interesting. It's Geek backlash. You know, as Black Panther is being submitted to be an Oscar-winning movie, you see so many people saying, oh, it was a good movie, but not that great. It wasn't all that. And that's perfectly fine. But you also see some people in geek culture saying, oh, list your worst movie, the worst movie of the MCU. And Black Panther's down there at the bottom. I got a problem with that, and I just want to address those geeks right now, and I think that the Color Commentary crew has some things to say about that. Mr. Danny J. Quick, my question to you, sir, is have you seen any of this geek backlash against the Black Panther, and what are your feelings about people who are saying, oh, Black Panther is just an average movie, or perhaps it is like one of the worst Marvel movies?
People are stupid. First and foremost, the people who are saying that it's a bad film are stupid people. Like, the movie is so great that I've literally been talking about it since February. February, the movie came out, and I have literally been talking about it since then. I've been invited on podcasts. Y'all know I write comics. I write comic books. I have a black hero of my own. I have a black hero of my own. And, you know, I've had people invite me on podcasts. I've been talking about them at conventions. Everything. The film itself, every character had a story. Every character had a purpose. Every character had an arc. They grew. Well, not every character, but most of the protagonists grew and changed over the course of the movie. Every character had an impact on the main protagonist. They pulled him and tugged him in different ways. They showed his royalty, his ability to learn, the struggle with the traditions of the past, and why it was important to grow. The movie was just so good. And I haven't even talked about Nakia and Shuri, the women taking the lead in Wakanda and then the government there. Man, I need more than 3 minutes to talk about why people are so stupid. The movie was just good. So for the people saying that the movie was not good, I don't understand that. I have to, like, that's one of the things that you just say, okay, these people are just racist. Because if Black Panther wasn't a good movie, there aren't any good movies. Like, it was the colors, the color story. Like, if you listen to the director's commentary, the color story that he told with the red, the green, and the black, with each character having their own specific color, the water tribe and the history of the African nations that they brought into. It's like the depths that they went to in this film to bring an entertaining story. And then it was just good on top of that. They had great action scenes, good fight scenes. They had good dialogue. They had comedy. They had everything in this film that you could want to be entertained. So I don't understand it. So it just makes me, anytime I've seen that, I just chalk it up to this person is either stupid or they're a racist or they're a stupid racist. And that's all I can say.
Well, there you have it. Coming from the creator of Ace Blade and King Supreme, and of course, my favorite character, what's her name? Nakia, is that her name?
Her name is Queen Zaje, and you gonna stop with that. You know Queen Zaje is based off my wife. I'm gonna need you to slow down just a little bit.
She base. That's where it started, man. It didn't stay there, man. It's bigger. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's grown past that. Okay, you need to let me have my love. I'm sorry, Storm, honey. Don't worry, baby. She's down here too. Charlie Taylor, have you seen that, man? And what do you think about it?
I have seen it. Sometimes I want to comment, but it's like, do I really want to comment? Because then I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to go back and forth. I guess the biggest thing with me, I just don't think people really think about what type of movie it was. Like they only think of it as a superhero movie. So in that case, like, oh, it wasn't enough action for me. Like Thor. I didn't see people flying and blowing up stuff, and the fight scenes weren't as epic as Civil War. So if they only came to see that type of film, then yeah, they might lack. Hey, I don't think it was that great. But if you really sit back and take a look, like what they actually did with this film, the world building that they did on this film, like some people actually think there's a real Wakanda in the world. Like there's no joke. Like they don't know it's not a real place. So it's like, oh, Wakanda, like yeah, everybody's doing Wakanda forever. Like they did such a great job on just creating that world that I've never seen that really shown on film before. Like that people actually, it's such a, I guess, a hit in pop culture. It's like everybody's doing this, and it's like everybody feels it. Like they feel the culture and they see it, and it's like just taking the world by storm. And that's based on how great a job they did it with the movie. It's I mean it wasn't the comic books that did that. Nobody heard about Wakanda before, but the movie portrayed that so well, and they got such a great cast together that everything just works perfectly. I mean, the different emotions you feel with the movie to me was just like I haven't felt any type, especially when it comes to superhero film. I don't feel like when I watch the superhero films, like I feel entertained. I can watch them, but I don't really care, too much. Unless it's like Civil War had a little bit of heartstrings. I was like, oh gosh, what's about to happen type of thing. But like with this movie, not having like us had 3 movies or 3 or 4 movies building these characters up, like these are the first time we get to see these characters in one movie. I'm like, they made you care about everybody. Like truly, you care about the bad guy, you care about the good guy, you care about the the side actors. You care about everybody, and everybody had their own voice. And even when they use with some of the white actors that were in the movie, like they played a big part. Like the villain. Claw, he had a really big part in the way he thought about these people and why he thought this way. And what's the Agent Coulson guy?
Everett Ross. Name.
Yeah, Everett Ross. Well, that's kind of what they made it seem like with him. Like the way he was able to like he had his own mind made up about what he thought of Wakanda, and then like seeing his whole, I guess, his whole thought process changed by the end of the film of what he thought about these people and the place that they came from. Like he was like, yeah, don't tell nobody about this place. This place is too good. Like they're gonna ruin it if you let the world in, type of thing. Like he was on that type of defensive, like man, this place is awesome. And even with Bucky on Avengers, like he was like, I love this place. Why does Bucky love that place? Because that place is awesome. And they did a good job in the film making it.
We know why awesome Bucky loves that place. We know why Bucky loves Wakanda.
You're stupid. But yeah, I don't really understand the backlash. I think it's more of a little bit of race, a little bit of jealousy, because it's getting a lot more attention than maybe some of the other people's favorite characters, like Thor. I heard people saying like Thor was better than Thor Ragnarok. I was like, no, It's not better. Thor is entertaining. Thor is funny, but it's not a better movie. Thor is one way. You're gonna feel one way about Thor. That's it.
Thor is a bunch of people in superhero things just goofing around. Like they didn't have a script.
It doesn't mean anything. You're not gonna have any feelings when you leave the theater, but like, oh, that was fun. That was funny. But like, it's not gonna impact you any. Like this movie impacted people. Like made people think differently on how they viewed other people, other cultures, and how we need to work together. I mean, they answered a lot of questions on being able to live in this world, this society, and live in peace and not keep going after each other. So I don't know why the backlash is, but people just if they have issues with the movie, take a real look at it. Don't look at it like just a regular hero film. Look at it as a film, just a good movie, and just try to see all the different points that it talks about, and give it
Mm-hmm.
its due. So I think it does deserve Oscar nominations, because it does impact you in a different way than just a superhero film would normally do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's me. I know I'm way over 3 minutes, but that's
Oh
too short for
yeah.
that.
You're not gonna even have a chance to talk during the next ones. We will just decide among ourselves if there can be a black Superman.
Hey, I'm actually the contrarian on that one, so we'll see.
We'll see if you are the contrarian. We don't know yet. You don't know about
Right.
that.
You don't know where we stand on that.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I agree with everything that you guys said. Although I don't know that everybody that dislikes it is necessarily a racist. I think there's levels to it. Like if you're saying that Black Panther is like the worst um Marvel movie. Yeah, you probably have some race stuff going on right there. You probably didn't like seeing a movie that was filled with all black people, and you just need to deal with that because you are. But if you're saying that Black Panther was an average movie, okay, I'm talking to you because now we can have some conversation. Now we can have some intelligent conversation about some things. If if you think that Black Panther was an average movie, I submit to you that you missed some things. And I think that's all it is that when you were watching the movie, you just didn't realize some things got past you because, like Charlie said, it's not your average superhero movie. Like, it's something that you have to think about. It's different in the fact that Black Panther was not the star of the movie. And that's one thing that I think people miss. Like they're used to seeing Captain America or an Iron Man in their movies or Thor. They're just dominating the movie. They get all the screen time. And it wasn't like that with Black Panther. In Black Panther, you had a much more well-rounded cast. And because of that, you had the opportunity to see so much more acting. There was some great acting in this movie. The only other movie that I can think of that has acting as good as this is the end of Civil War. And we're talking about the end of Civil War, when you can really see what's going on with Iron Man. Well, actually, all
Yeah.
the scenes with Iron Man pretty much in Civil War, he's really doing a good job of trying to to express to Cap how he feels about things and when Bucky, killed his parents and all that type of stuff. But other than that, the MCU has decent acting. They're just filling their roles versus this movie was full of good acting. Like one of my favorite scenes is between Nakia and Okoye. And Nakia's like, come on, let's go. We got to get out of here. And Okoye is like, no. And when they're talking to each other, it's something that's so real. Nakia says something to Okoye, and before she talks, before she responds, her face just wrinkles up because most of the time when you see a movie, people don't respond in their face until they're talking. But that's
Hmm.
not how real people do. If Danny said something to me that was like, "What the heck are you talking about?" It would show in my face before I responded to it. And that's exactly what Okoye did. It was so much good acting, and I think people miss that type of stuff. I think
Yeah.
they miss the world building. Yeah.
That scene specifically, I think, is one of my favorite scenes in the movie because of all of that character building that went into. I think that movie was, I want to say, 2/3 through the film, but all of the character building that uh, went into the film up until that point was shown. You got Nakia, who is they both love Wakanda, but they're
Mhm.
doing different things to show their love for Wakanda, and
Mhm.
everything that you seen from them before that came to that point and they
Right.
still had enough respect for each other to let each other do their own thing. So I agree with you. That was really an
Yeah.
amazing part of it.
And then even
Also,
it was funny because I just recently watched Black Panther because I just watched it on Netflix. I haven't seen Black Panther since February, really, and I was really scared. I was like, God, I talked up this movie so much. I don't know if this movie is going to be as good as I said that it was, and so I was very even hesitant to watch it. And I watched it. I was like, wow. And the thing that really got me was Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan's role. When you see in his more internal moments, and you can see that struggle he has, and he's sitting there, and his dad says, "No tears for me." And as a little boy, he's not crying, but as an adult, he says, you know, well, people died. That's what the young boy said, but he's crying because of what happened, and you really understand what the people of Wakanda put him through because of those decisions. And then when he gets stabbed at the end, he's like, oh, that's a heck of a shot. You know, my dad was going to take me to see. You know, my dad said it was the most beautiful sunrise ever, and it's like, wow, like he is acting his butt off. And if you can't see that, you're missing out. This is not the movie where you're just throwing Mjolnir at people and that's it. And you crack a witty joke and you move on. Like, you got to go back and watch the movie again. Look at the world building. Look at the time that's spent on the background characters, and look at the acting. And I think that you will see that it is a heck of a movie.
And it's gotta be cinnamon toast